There are some revelations, I think, that are so significant that they send ripples through our whole world, and possibly, even if we knew beforehand the effects they would have on us, we maybe would go out of our way to avoid seeing those things. I shared a moment like that with a friend of mine on January the 4th of this year. We were sitting in a coffee shop having a catch up, and I said to her, I just think I might need to give up this healing lark and go get a job in a shoe shop. And she kind of froze in mid sip of a coffee. But what had happened, and I explained to her, was that I had come home to my body with a bump. And I realised that I'd been living my life kind of looking the other way all the time to some extent, not seeing how it actually felt here in this body to be living my life. There was that revelation, that moment when I realised that I'd been going around saying, yes, I'm fine, everything's okay, I can manage this, I can do it, because I wanted that to be true. But actually, when I stopped and looked at how my body actually felt, what it was trying to tell me was that with my willpower, I had been driving it on through distress, through exhaustion, through shock. And when I thought I was calm, because it felt normal to me, actually my whole system was in a state of hyper arousal, like being on amber alert all the time, waiting for the next disaster to strike. And it was a shock to realise that. And of course, life cannot go on like it's gone on when you have a revelation like that. Of course, the first thing I thought was, blimey, the hypocrisy of that, calling myself a healer and living my life like that. I can't do that anymore. But more than that, what came home to me that changed everything was the revelation about what that said about my self-worth. I felt like a colander where I was working so hard to pour fresh water in to the bowl every day to be filled up with nice water, but then I was full of holes and I was just leaking water indiscriminately all over the place. And my question was, for what? What purpose does that have? How useful is that? What's the return on that? Because it occurred to me that none of us would willingly invest a single pound in an investment scheme that openly promised to give us the worst possible return on our investment, and then also said that over time our original capital would get worn down, eaten away, until we were left with less than we started with. None of us would invest any money at all in that scheme. And yet when I looked at myself, I realised that was pretty much what I was doing with my time, with my effort, with my energy, with my love, with my commitment. And I thought, what does this say about how much I value myself? And I know I'm not alone. I know that most of us believe, I think, that we need to try harder, do more, aim higher if we're going to deserve happiness, love, success. But it just occurred to me, what would happen if I did stop trying so hard? Because I realised that what I'd been doing was toughening up because I thought I had to. I've been kind of like living life armoured with a thick skin, whereby I felt I had to kind of push through because I had to be tough, because life is tough. You know, I had to be thick-skinned because the world is thick-skinned. It's not going to meet me in a place of deep sensitivity to my needs or to my value. So what would happen if I put down my armour? What would happen if I allowed myself to deeply connect with how I actually feel in this bodily felt sense, which so often is not all right? And I begin to engage with that. And my fear, of course, was that I would totally fall apart. And I will be sharing with you over the next few weeks, if you're interested, some of the revelations that came from that. That's why I've been so quiet all year, because going into a place like that is scary. Everything does have to come to a standstill a bit, and I could not keep going as I had been going. But what is coming out of that is fascinating, I think. Absolutely fascinating, and I would love to share a bit of that with you. So if you're game to follow me for the next few weeks, there will be some interesting revelations ahead. So maybe you feel like joining me in a little bit of an exploration of how it feels to be in a body. Because we don't often do that, do we? No, we don't. And in fact, very often when we do look at our bodies, it's really critically just to see what's wrong, how we might try and correct that, or to beat ourselves up. But we very rarely look with genuine kindness and compassion and curiosity. So this is I'm going to post it separately. It's a kind of a meditation really for looking at yourself. You need to get naked. Oh, yes, and I know that might be a bit toe curling, but or as naked as you can bear to be, and in front of a full length mirror where you can see yourself, and then you can play the little exploration, and let's see where it leads us. I'll see you there.